All right, welcome to Do or Duncy, the only podcast where you can hear all the latest in television and entertainment news with too many else with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is...
Yeah, Berwick, and a third one is...
Kyle Bridger. I would say that I am the humble assistant Natalie to John's Gene Cousineau, to Dave's Sally Reed. He's just so, he works me so much, you know, and then he berates me.
Okay. Well, you stole my idea. You stole my idea. And those carrots that you were supposed to peel and make them into baby carrots, you didn't do it correctly. I don't think you're able to put on my deodorant anymore. I think you're going to be demoted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about all those characters. And of course, the titular Barry when we talk about Barry. Season 3 concluded last night. We will talk all about Season 3, including the big season finale. A lot to talk about tonight with that. We got some quick checks for some recent movies. But before all that, man, this first segment, I don't know what it is. John, what is it?
In and out points.
Yes, it is in and out points. 2 weeks ago, we reviewed it. And then last week, we discussed its impressive box office hold. But this week, Top Gun Maverick is flying towards a lawsuit. That's our first in and out point this week. The heirs of the original writer of a magazine article that inspired the 1986 film Top Gun has sued Paramount Pictures, saying that the studio willfully ignored a copyright claim filed in 2018 before making the high-flying sequel. I'll get into the specifics of this, but John, are you worried here that they're going to be coming for the money?
Nope, not at all. You know why? Because it's the amount earned, not the total at the end.
Oh, okay.
So you can't take it out of my winnings. It's just more news, keeping it in the public eye. More money for me, man.
This might be like a divorce. 50%. Sorry for taking it from you. We'll spread it out to others.
Nope.
Kyle, what do you think of this lawsuit, just at first glance?
So wait, so are they saying that they basically created this movie before them, or just even the creation of the second one infringes on their copyright?
I think it's a little bit more of the latter. I got the details here so this article was originally written in California Magazine in 1983, and that the author of that article was rightfully credited as the story by author for the 1986 original film. Now, according to the lawsuit filed this past week, the heirs of this writer claimed that they sent notice to Paramount in January of 2018 that they would reclaim the copyright in January of 2020. So they're saying, hey, just so you know, you got the copyright back in 1986 for the film based on this article. But that's going to expire soon. And that's going to expire in January 2020. It's January 2018 now. You're not going to have it. So they're giving Paramount a warning, supposedly.
Mm.
Where it gets tricky now is Maverick started shooting in May of 2018 when they still had the copyright. It was supposed to be released in 2019 when they still had the copyright. However, it was delayed until 2020. And then obviously due to COVID, it was delayed a few more times until just this past May. And now it all hinges on when they actually maybe have finished the film. The heirs allege that they did not finish the film in 2019, like they claim, but that they were still working and tinkering and with it. And, it was May of 2021 that they actually finished making the film, thus after the transfer of copyright.
I got to be honest. I don't know anything about legalese
Should we
or
call
any of
Saul?
this.
You're not getting this one? Yeah.
Yeah, but I got to assume that Paramount can fudge when they finish this film, you know what I mean? So I don't really think the other people have a case. And I would say even the fact that they started shooting in 2018 is like enough to be like, all right, well,
we tried.
Making it Yeah.
We had
They were
posters
making
and
it-
trailers for 2019, release.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I
Mm.
don't know.
John has
I
a
don't know.
different take here.
How you're saying that you can make a movie and then not release it for 30 years and then release the movie and say, oh, we had the copyright back then.
That is
Like, I
also
don't know.
true.
That's true.
That
I
is
feel
also
like if
true.
they're releasing it now, they should have the copyright now. If they plan
That's
to put it on
true.
streaming
Yeah.
or put it on DVD, they should have the copyright now. Like, I'm not a lawyer, but is that not how copyright works?
It goes
Like,
back to like that Seth Green thing with that NFT that was stolen because he made
Yeah.
that show. And it's like, well, I had the copyright for the NFT then, but then
Yeah.
it was stolen from me. I can't release the show now. He did update. He did get the monkey back for I think it was like $300,000 or something.
yeah, something crazy.
But
Yeah. I guess you're right, John.
I don't know. That's my thought. Obviously, we're not lawyers. We're just guessing. But how does that copyright not? How do you not? How do you release something and not have the rights to it? Because
Yeah.
otherwise, what's stopping me from releasing stuff on YouTube and being like, oh yeah, back when they were recording it, I had like or whatever, like which
but-
I guess I wouldn't. But
because I guess it's like renewing your lease kind of thing. When Netflix had all the episodes of Friends, it's like, and maybe they cut something together and then they release it now, and it's like, well, yeah, we had the rights in 2018 for it, but
Yeah.
we're just getting around to posting it now.
we took a few seconds off.
Yeah.
It's new.
Yeah.
But even still, like, I wonder how that works with the copyright. If the copyright was set to expire in 2020 and now they're doing all this marketing for it, can they like legitimately do that? And that is all above board? Like, I don't, what's the difference?
Yeah. I don't know. And it's also complicated because it's like, yeah, it's the movie sequel
was there an
based on the
agreement?
article from
Yeah.
80s. It's like, it's
Yeah.
based off of it goes back. And yeah, it's like, I don't know the similarities between the article and the original movie. Was it just
Yeah.
inspiration? Was it more based on? Obviously, it looks like the name was at least taken from the article. His name was Top Guns, so they didn't change that much there. But yeah, it's an interesting idea. Either way, it's still making bank, man. I think between the two, of Doctor Strange and Top Gun Maverick, it's actually neck and neck right now. And and Doctor Strange had like 3 or 4 weeks on Top Gun.
I know.
Doctor Strange is currently at 398 million. Top Gun Maverick is at 395 million. I just had a film finally come out, Jurassic World Dominion, made about 145 million. So I'm getting there. I'm not gonna hit your numbers, but I'm trying. I'm trying.
Top Gun was a blockbuster, but I think word of mouth is picking up too. I think a lot of that is word of mouth, but I think it opened bigger than a lot of people thought too.
Definitely. And it's been holding better. And like every time, like when they do estimates on the weekend, you'll see the article on Monday come out. It's like, oh, actually it made a little bit more than we thought. Like it's just that word of mouth, and it's just clicking with audiences right now. But
yeah.
all right. Well, there's another film. We're talking about box office here. Last year's biggest film was Spider-Man: No Way Home. It made just shy of 2 billion worldwide. It made just 1.9 billion. But it's coming for even more this September because Spider-Man: No Way Home, the more fun stuff version, will swing into theater September 2nd. This cut will feature deleted and extended scenes. Who's getting tickets? Should I book them now? Kyle, are you in? Spider-Man: No Way Home, the more fun stuff version.
No, thank you.
Why
Why?
Money, money, money.
I know. That's all it is. The only reason I would go see it is because I haven't seen No Way Home.
You haven't seen No Way Home yet to begin with. So
Yeah, me neither.
this will just be the more fun stuff. This will be just the normal fun level for you, Kyle.
Yeah.
And,
Then we can
And I
watch the
need
boring cut.
yeah.
Yeah.
The less fun stuff version, the original. But
Yeah.
I have seen that film. I know you saw Doctor Strange this past
Yep.
weekend. I have seen No Way Home. I mean, the movie is already like 2.5 hours long. Like, how much longer do you want this movie to be? Like,
I know.
oh,
Yeah.
we're clocking in at 3 hours now. Oh, let's clock in at 3:15. It's just make a TV show at this point. Like,
Yep.
But I don't know. For me, it's like the scenes were deleted for a reason. Like the film was paced at a certain length. Like, what are we doing here? We're adding let's add in some bloopers
They were
next.
deleted because they were great.
They were
I
too
don't get
fun.
that.
They were too good. It was more fun, yeah. But I don't know for sure. I don't have the Blu-ray of Spider-Man No Way Home. But I was reading on Reddit that these deleted scenes, because normally when you would get the Blu-ray, I remember growing up, like the DVDs, you know, back in my day, they would have like the extended cut on the DVD. They would have the original cut, and they would have like a deleted scenes. They would have blooper reels. They would have this, that. So it sounds like Sony or whoever here didn't include the extra scenes, the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray, the original Blu-ray, that is. They're going to now put them in this movie to make people, if you want to see these deleted scenes, you got to watch the movie. And then I'm sure, I don't know I don't have the details here, but I'm sure 6 months after that date, there's going to be another Blu-ray release with that cut.
It's really gross,
it's
dude. It's so gross.
You've already made almost $2 billion. How much more money do you need off of one thing? You're really squeezing that sponge as much as you can.
Yeah, it's really gross when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because like diehards are going to go out there and do that.
Yeah, and more power to them. Spider-Man No Way Home was fun. All three Spider-Mans together. It was a big cinematic event. I get that, but
It was more fun.
yeah, this one's gonna be more fun. And then the next one's even more fun. So, yeah, it's just.
Can't you see they're all laughing? They're all
look
having
how much
a
fun
good time.
they're having. I just feel bad for the guy who watched the original Spider-Man No Way Home, the less fun one, like 292 times. Like, does he now have to get started on this record?
Yeah, he's gonna have to do it again.
He's probably gonna be happy that he has something new to watch.
That's true. He'll watch this. What is this? I don't have this thing memorized yet. But the other thing is I'm really mad because if only this news was earlier, because I could have picked this in the box office draft. Right? That's September 2nd. I got 3 weeks before the end of summer. This will make more money than the DC League of Super Pets, whatever this re-release is. This is gonna make more than Elvis. Like, this is gonna be a big movie, I think.
Wow, you think it'll make more than Elvis, huh?
I don't know. I'm just joking. I mean,
In 2 weeks?
who knows? I mean, the film made $2 billion. I mean, this thing could, if it makes an opening weekend of 40-50 million, that's already probably more than League of Super Pets may make. I don't know. Or maybe I get grandfathered in the domestic total. It is a re-release. But
No, we're not rolling with that.
The other thing, this would be a really good prank. This is what Sony should have done, because they did that re-release of Morbius as well. That they go, Spider-Man No Way Home, more fun stuff version. You gotta check it out September 2nd. And you go in, you sit down, you're all excited, and then like all of a sudden you see the lights fade. It's Jared Leto on the screen. It's a Morbius movie. It's the re-release of Morbius again. We got you. Those 20 minutes are just Jared Leto in the Morbius costume.
Maybe that's why they're re-releasing it, to try and make money back for Morbius flopping.
Yeah, maybe. But we're talking a little bit about the box office draft. I mentioned Elvis. I know John also picked Rocket Man in the past. You like those musical biopics. Well, we may have a third coming. This one is going to be about Madonna, starring Julia Garner. The Ozark and Inventing Anna actress has been offered the role of the pop icon in an upcoming biopic. Variety says she is considering and is expected to accept the offer. I know we like Julia Garner from Ozark, but Kyle, are you excited to see her possibly, get a big role here as Madonna?
Yeah, I mean, I think she'll knock it out of the park. She's a great actress. I think, when did we first see Julia Garner? Wasn't it the
Americans, maybe?
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw her.
Yeah. So, I mean, right from there, she's always been good. And definitely very, very good in Ozark. So, I mean, I have no doubt that she'd do a good job.
Yeah, I will admit, I did skip Inventing Anna. I maybe have overheard
I did too.
Some of the dialogue and accent work from the other room, and it was a choice. I know the person Anna was also a character, but I don't know. I don't know for sure there on that one, but it definitely hits it out of the park in Ozark. And Yeah, John, I know you're a big music guy with with Queen and stuff like that. Are you excited for a Madonna biopic?
Yeah, I'd check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think here's the question though, would Julia Garner be enough for you? Because the other actresses in contention, supposedly, again, according to this article, it's rumored, but Florence Pugh, Alex Demi from Euphoria, Odessa Young, those were just a few of the names that were floating there. Any of those maybe instead of Julia Garner, or are we happy with Julia here?
I think she's a
Yeah.
good lookalike at least. I mean,
Yeah. The lookalike
Yeah.
is there, I think.
Yeah. And I think she's a great actress. And, Florence Pugh is like,
A great actress as well. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
borderline star with now that she's been in like Marvel movies and stuff. So, but yeah, I think it's a good choice. I think it's going to be fine. She's a really great actress. So,
Yeah, I'll be curious about the music and the singing. I didn't know Julia can sing. And reportedly, Madonna held this like Madonna boot camp that consisted of like 11-hour choreography sessions and singing auditions with Madonna herself, because Madonna is going to be directing this film. So I guess it must have impressed her enough, at least have the basics, the singing chops to, portray the icon. But I will say
Madonna boot camp.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I will say I am a little worried about the film because Madonna is directing it herself. I mean, one,
You
because
don't say.
I haven't seen any direction ever, any directed films
The
from
minute
Madonna.
you said Madonna was directing, not that I don't believe in her, but is this her debut? Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, at least a big budget. I mean, who knows if she's done something in the past. I'll see if I can find it on IMDb. But for me, I am worried because, I mean, we saw it, John, with Bohemian Rhapsody. We were all excited, when we initially heard that, Sacha Baron Cohen was going to do this kind of R-rated Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie Mercury, movie biopic. And then I remember hearing like this interview when he was talking with, the members of Queen. And they're saying, oh, yeah, we have this idea that like halfway through the movie, Freddie's going to die. And Sasha's like, what? It's like, yeah. And then the rest of the movie will be about how Queen, overcame that and, continued performing and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, no, like, I don't want that. Like, I want an accurate movie about Freddie's life, not this watered down version. So that's what I'm worried that Madonna may kind of, skip some of the more controversial, the more maybe real stuff that you would want in a biopic. But
That's true.
let's see here. Let's see, we got director, 4 credits for Madonna here. We have Filth and Wisdom from 2008.
Wow.
A comedy centered on 3 flatmates living desperate lives in London.
Interesting. Good for Madonna. I didn't know she was in directing.
Yeah, she has a lot of different credits here. WE from 2011. She had a short, Secret Project Revolution, and then untitled Madonna biopic is in pre-production right now. So those are her 4.
The thing with all these like biopics or TV shows based on real people, like the Pam and Tommy situation, is like, okay, you can either get the person on board and they're kind of hesitant to share all of the dirty details, or you get like this unauthorized biography of these people, and then they're like fighting it out in courts, and it's like, can you truly believe these stories? So it's, the truth has got to be somewhere in between at some point. I don't know, but maybe, I mean, if you have an artist that's willing to share it all, but still, they want to be shown in a good light, right? You don't want to just be down all the time. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It might be a little bit before we actually, if they're just in pre-production now. A lot of work to do on that biopic. But let's see here. We are now ready to talk about something that did just conclude, and that is Barry. In order to talk about it, we have to go back. So guys, send us back.
We're back, baby.
Gotta get back in time.
Barry, season 3, the finale was starting now. And that was on June 12th, last night. We talked about the premiere in 382. And again, we are going to spoil this season and this finale of Barry. We're talking about spoilers. It's been a dark season for Barry and all of our characters. And it seems like it's only going to get darker now. Again, spoiler, that Barry has been arrested attempting to kill Detective Moss's father. That's how we ended the finale of Barry. We're going to talk all about the season, specifically the finale, but I guess we can start with John. Give me your just overall thoughts first, and then tell me what you thought about the finale.
Overall, I really liked the season. They had a good mix of, I guess, drama elements and a lot of humor, which I know we'll get into some of the humor of, running a show while in a show, kind of. I mean, they literally made the opening scene of the entire season part of the joke, where they said later, shows that start out with people eating desserts get views or whatever, and then the opening is Barry eating a donut. Like, the whole thing is really well done like that. And I don't think they really missed too many beats or anything along the way, except maybe the finale. I don't know if I enjoyed the outcome. I don't know. I'm assuming they're intending to do more with it, but
there is a season 4 coming.
Yeah, but like, I think I would have much rather him be on the run than captured. But I mean, I guess that really sets the tone for the next season. So maybe that's part of an equation I'm missing. Maybe in retrospect, I'll say, that was the right choice. Whereas right now, I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. So
yeah, I will say, like, I have a con we'll get to a little bit later about sometimes one of the things I like but also dislike with how they've been handling it is they'll put characters in situations, and it's like, how are they going to get out of this situation? Sometimes I really like those answers. Other times I feel like they cheat a little bit. So I'll be curious to see if, season 4, episode 1, you just see him, push the bars out of a window, drop from the cell. It's like, oh, I'm out, like something,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do something like that, but we'll see how, what we do with season 4. Another thing I did hear is, like, when they originally wrote season 3, I think it was like right before the pandemic, this is how season 3 was going to be. But then with the pandemic, and then with like, oh, well, maybe we can use this time to maybe also work on it a little bit and connect it better with season 4. Let's write season 4. Okay, season 4 is going to be like this. Let's fix season 3. So I think it's going to be a better thing overall with these 2 seasons. But again, we'll have to wait and see whenever 4 comes out. But before I get too far into the season and the finale, what did you think overall, Kyle?
I really liked it overall. I love Bill Hader. You just gotta love him. Overall, I just really enjoy the show. Some of the characters that I don't enjoy, though, don't enjoy. I just don't understand their purpose. Like, I don't understand the NoHo Hank's purpose in the show anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Although I did enjoy one of the finale scenes with him in it.
Mm-hmm.
So there are moments with those characters and each of these characters that I do enjoy, but when it comes down to it, I'm really invested in Barry and in Fuchs and in Cousineau, and that's where I like the show where it's at, But when we get to these other characters, I'm like, why are we off doing this? I want to get back to that,
Definitely.
So that's really my only thing. But overall, I actually enjoyed the finale quite a bit, and I thought a couple of scenes were really, really good. But you can say, like, the outcome, I wonder what's going to happen,
Yeah, and I'd say I'm maybe more in the middle of you guys for the finale. Overall, I really liked the season a lot. I thought it was so well done, and we'll get to what we liked in a second. But yeah, for me, the finale, I didn't think it was just maybe my expectations, just with like the press I saw leading up to it, pretty much how, like, man, this last episode, it's anxiety to the max. There was people, like our editors and our production team, they would have to stop and walk out of the room and not be able to finish working on it because it was so anxiety. And I was like, oh my God, like, am I going to need, like a whatever, a CPR unit at the thing to keep me alive during this. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. So maybe my expectations were just so high. There were still some very surprising moments. There were still a lot of great moments in the finale. And I just want to start overall talking about some of the pros of the season as usual. But I thought, especially this season, I thought like some of the cinematography was just top notch. I mean, we saw this motorbike speed chase on the highway, and like we see him, we're following him from behind onto the on-ramp, and there's using a lot of just like natural sounds. There's no music in this chasing. It's just like you're hearing you're just hearing what he would hear in that situation. And I thought all those choices in that scene was really good. And then specifically in this finale, first we have this attack with Sally, where she is swinging, and she is in this like kind of soundproof room, so we don't hear the attack. We're kind of seeing it for the most part, where we don't hear any of it. Then later in the episode, when Hank is in this like kind of cell, he is hearing an attack in the other room, but we don't see any of it, and the camera just stays on a concrete wall.
Yeah,
and that's it. But you can picture it because of the way of the sound design and the way the camera is panning against that wall.
Yeah.
So they're just doing different things between one thing you can see and not hear, the other one you can hear and not see. So I thought that was an interesting choice. And then finally, I'll just say the final shot of the season, I just thought it was simple, but it was effective when we have Jim and Jean looking at each other outside after Barry is arrested. And in that foreground, on the right-hand side, you have the photo of Janice just sitting there reminding you, just why everything is happening. It's her right there. And it's just, I thought that was a great choice and a way to end the season as well. Any other shots or any other kind of moments stick out to you guys at all throughout the season, or did I steal them all there?
Well, I've got one in the finale between Cousineau and Jim Moss, where he like gets close, and that scene was really, really intense, and I thought really well done. That scene, and then the scene that you were talking about with NoHo Hank, which I thought when I was hearing the voices from the previous episode, from episode 7, I thought it was set up. I thought they were setting up NoHo Hank for something, or like were using him for something. I don't know, but turns out that was not the case at all. The stuff that I was thinking about was episode 7, when we're dealing with like the afterlife or something that Bill Hader's, and they did a lot of stuff with sound there, subconscious being the ocean, and
the ocean like just kind of like appearing on that the driveway there, just on the street, just appearing. You mentioned the scene between Gene and Jim, and everything kind of sets up as John mentioned with like the donut in the beginning of the season and having that joke. But when you have Gene and Jim kind of in this interrogation, but also acting exercise, the same one that Barry kind of did with Gene early, like maybe in episode 1 or 2, where it's just like, like, I love you, Barry. Again, I love you, Barry. And like this time it's like, do you love Barry? No. Do you love Barry? And it's just like the repetition and just having like the Nathan For You acting exercise there of having him repeat it just to break him down. I thought it was, again, it's just like these kind of setup moments and then the payoff later on. We're talking a lot of dark stuff, and I'll say, well, this, I think, season was much darker in tone than the previous seasons. They were always dramatic, but this one I think was especially dramatic. They were still had the comedy in this, still comedic. I have a couple, I'll run through them, and then I'll see if you guys have some. The blow dart to Hank. And he's
that
like,
was a funny one.
I'm like, oh, I thought that's what you were doing, but I was not going to say anything because I'm being polite. And like as he falls into the frame, and I think I had, let's see, the other police detective was talking about the Army vet leaving in the previous episode, and he's like, yeah, I haven't seen him since he left out in a huff and he cocked his gun. He's probably just out seeing the sights. It's like, whatever, but. And then I got one with Vanessa Bayer's like exec character, where because I could feel like this is happening, and I'm sure Bill Hader was in a meeting where she kept saying like, we need a show like whoosh, but not a show like and like it was just like sound effects the whole time, and they were just like making like faces. It's like, oh, I could do whoosh, but I can't do like, you know, it's just like, what?
We need more. Yeah.
But not ooh. Like, you know, it's just what I'm sure that happens though. I'm sure those dumb conversations happen, and
I thought a lot of that stuff with the industry stuff and the stuff that Sally was going through was spot on, or at least just like an over-the-top version of it was just pretty accurate.
Her highly rated show was like the next day canceled because the algorithm. Yeah. The algorithm, man, it just wasn't going to connect. It's like you don't even give it a chance. But I have a couple other moments, but I know there's one that you really like, Kyle, and I don't want to steal it from you. Is there any
Which
funny...
one? No, there was one that I swear that I texted you.
Yeah.
I was trying to find it, and I can't remember.
It was about an app. Customer service agent was helping him.
Oh my gosh, yes. When he's trying to get that to go and it will not go. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's like so real. But of course it's the stupid and most absurd thing ever. Yeah. This bomb detonator app. It's so ridiculous. But everything that they kind of had on there was something that I had just experienced with customer service. So.
I love like when it went off and you could just hear go, so it sounds like it was successful. Is there anything I can help you with? Just like, you know, nonchalant, just going through it. But yeah, John, is there anything else I didn't take from you?
No, off the top of my head, no, but there's just so many small things in passing that you miss or you laugh at, but then like something serious happens and it kind of escapes you. So this show is just full of stuff. It's definitely a definite watch, you know?
Yeah. And the stuff with like Sally and her show, I will say this season, I like her a bit more, but she's still not my favorite character. I mean, there was previous seasons where I was just like, I don't understand just the character. The actress is doing a great job playing the character. I just don't understand the character as a whole. And I feel like it helped a bit more with this season, especially in these last 2 or 3 episodes. I texted a friend about you know, at least the setup for why Sally came back to Barry. She wanted to mess with Natalie after Natalie kind of stole her idea in a way. And they have this big fight, or not big fight. I mean, it was a one-sided fight in the elevator, and that video leaks. Barry earlier in the season offered to mess with an executive, you know, kind of do these things, you know, in her house, you know, just mess with her head. And Sally, you know, wants to do the same thing to Natalie. So we came back to visit Barry here, but no, then we had somebody else visit, and we almost lost Sally in that scene. And then, I don't know.
Yeah, who was that guy, though?
I think it was just one of the motocross guys left over, I think.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was great. What'd you do to my eye? That was brilliant. Like, I didn't even realize.
My gosh,
that was so good,
man.
But like when I saw him there, because like the camera was panning on like Barry walking across the room, and I saw the guy there. At first, I'm like, wait, what? Was that like a cardboard cutout? Like, what was that? Like,
I thought he was with them for a second. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Is it a
no,
crew
wait,
member
he's not
that
with
they
them.
accidentally like left in the shot? Like, what is that? And then to see her eyes, widen, but I'm really curious to see the future of this. I mean, we see at the end of the episode, she's off to Joplin. She's going home here. She's leaving LA, leaving Barry, leaving everything there. So I don't know what's next. You know, any ideas of what, you know, is
Sally? I have no idea.
Is she off the show, or is she just like, were we going to see kind of like how Fuchs was in a different country? Are we going to see check-ins with her? I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I need that, but I don't know.
I mean, maybe they might.
But
I just don't know. I just don't know what they. She's probably going to get brought back in because I mean she's now a witness, or an accomplice in.
That is
and
true.
And also, she dated some dude who's a known murderer. She's gonna be brought in. You know,
you can't not be questioned at least.
Yes.
Yeah, because this event at the end where the army vet, he saved his life. or Barry saved his life back in the army, and it was now an FBI agent, was on to Barry, meets him at that like spot we saw in the premiere episode out in the desert here, and Barry was disposing of this guy's body. So I'm sure when this guy gets back to the station and he sees, oh, Barry was arrested, it's like, well, I guess let's go find out who that body is, and it's going to connect 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's just going to, bring it back to Sally in at least some way. But this kind of leads into my complaint of just overall with the show, but I was glad how they handled it in the finale. It's hard to explain, but I feel like the show sometimes does a lot of fake outs, and it's these moments that like really are like, whoa, I can't believe they went there. And then the next episode, it's like, or no, maybe not even in the next episode. It's sometimes like a minute or two later. Like, for instance, I think it was in a cold open, maybe episode 6 or something. Fuchs is shot. They're in the cold open, and I'm like, oh my God, are they really just going to get rid of his character just like that? Like, that would be something the show could do, where it's just like, yep, that life happens, that just happened to him. He's dead. But no, then, he's fine. And then at the end of another episode, we get this big moment, surprise, Barry is poisoned, he is dying, and it's like, well, sure, the show is called Barry, you can't expect they're going to kill him off, but it's like, well, they're leaving that on a cliffhanger. He's there, being poisoned, foaming at the mouth. He looks like he's dead. No, he's fine at the next, well, not fine, but he's okay the next episode. So it's just like, oh man, I can't do with this. Every time I cop, whether it's Janice or somebody else figures out Barry, well, they just dispose of him. They get shot, they die, something happens to them. I'm like, we gotta break this cycle. So when I was really worried about this, this latest agent who found him out and went out to that tree with him, and then it's like, oh, he's turning his back for a second. Is Barry faking this, crying for a little bit, and he's going to stand up and shoot him? Like, I really thought that was going to happen, because I'm like,
that's what I did.
I'm like, oh, are we going to do that again? But maybe it was one of those things where they did it a few too many times. I was like, oh, they're just going to cop out again. Nope. Instead, Barry gets arrested. Barry gets arrested, and this kind of like sting operation, this kind of trick that Gene and Jim Moss set up there. Any thoughts on this? Were you surprised? I think when I heard the like drop the gun, like I was like, oh, okay, they got him.
Yeah.
But, John, what do you think of that moment?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little disappointed that it turned out that way. I think from a like not a meta standpoint, but like it was a well done scene and everything worked mechanically very well. It doesn't feel like Barry to just have him be arrested and just go with it. Like, I don't know. I would have much kind of rathered him go out in a blaze of glory or go on the run or something. And this seems like the most timid of the options, I guess, is my complaint. But I don't know. Like I said, what does next season hold? Is the first episode of next season going to be the prisoner transport gets crashed and he escapes? Like, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where, in the moment I'm kind of like, oh, all right, that's the end. But it's not the end. There's going to be more.
Unless it's not like a catch me if you can situation where, we'll give you a nice little pad here, whatever the nice prison cell is, so you could help the FBI figure out other hitmen and, or, a hitman that takes out hitmen or something like, as long as we don't, I feel like, get that. I'm really curious of what they're going to do, and if like season 4 is the last season, Barry and Fuchs are now in jail. Fuchs is fine. Is being called with the Raven. Like, are they going to be in the same prison? I'm assuming they had barely had any scenes together this season. We got to have them, I feel like, together.
That's what I was thinking. Is I don't know how they were going to rationalize it, but have Barry and Fuchs in the same prison and they're working to get out. Or something to that capacity.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But but way to go, Gene. He used his skills. He's a masterclass actor, I guess. He is. Yeah. He got Barry into the trap there.
That masterclass stuff.
That is funny. That's that's some good stuff for
and then the director being like, I don't know what I'm doing at all for this masterclass.
And I feel like that's real Hollywood as well.
Yeah.
But
sure.
One last thing I want to bring up here, is there anything to the fact of in the very beginning of this episode, Sally and Gene are on the the dead beach, on the beach where all of Barry's victims are, surrounding him there in this kind of like dream sequence moment here. Is that just a realization from Barry of like who could get hurt from his actions? I could lose these people if I keep doing what I'm doing. Or is that some sort of foreshadowing? End of season 4 is like they're too caught up into this world now. They're gonna end up dead and on this beach with all my other victims. Is there anything to that?
You could just say they're in the back. They're already victims of his life. You know what I mean? He killed Gene Cousineau's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Gene is now a victim of him. He has to live the rest of his life with Barry's consequences. So
that's true.
And then Sally, I don't know. You could make something up.
Okay. I will say, when the episode started, I was like, it would have been one thing if I saw like one of them on the beach, because I'm like, oh, maybe they'll end, like, it'll be like, oh, at the end of the episode, one of them will lose or something. But when I saw both of them, I'm like, you're not killing both of these people off in this episode. I could see maybe losing one of them, but you're not going to kill, half of your main cast, really. Because you already got NoHo Hank kind of separated, so you got like 5 core people. You're not getting rid of 2 of them. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be maybe a bit before we get to season 4. I'm hoping with the pandemic, with the scripts being written, they'll get right on it. But it was a long wait for season 3, so we'll have to wait and see. All right. Well, we got some time tonight. We can do some little check-ins, little quick checks. All right, we're going to start off with me with a film that just dropped this opening weekend here, Jurassic World Dominion. It's been 4 years after the destruction of Isla Nublar, and dinosaurs now live and hunt alongside humans all over the world. This fragile balance will reshape the future and determine once and for all whether human beings are to remain the apex predators on a planet they now share with history's most fearsome creatures. That is the IMDb description of this movie. I will say that is not what we got with this film. I watched Fallen Kingdom a week or 2 ago to prepare for this movie, and how Fallen Kingdom, the second movie in this Jurassic World franchise, ended was where I wanted the second film to start. Okay, the dinosaurs are now roaming the earth with other people. We're no longer stuck on an island. All right, I want that. And we got some of it here in the beginning of Jurassic World Dominion. We got some cool stuff of how they're just in the world amongst humans. But I thought they really kind of squandered it, because immediately we go to another animal sanctuary reserve type place, and it's another lab setting. And it's just like, how many times do we have to go to another animal reserve? We transported the animals here and they won't escape and they'll be fine and blah, blah. Spoiler, they're not fine. And then even the end of this movie, they transfer them to another. It's like, I wonder where this is going to go. But like, it's just, get out of the lab. Let's do some other things here. And not only that, this movie's more about insects than dinosaurs. And I'll leave it at that. It's like, well, what are we doing? This is the dinosaurs. I want the dinosaurs. And I mean, we got them. They're almost too much dinosaurs. There's no moments of like, I feel like suspense anymore in the Jurassic World films, because like there's no water glass, in Jurassic Park where you see like the vibrations going, it's like, oh, where's the dinosaur? Oh, maybe you see like the eye, or because it's 1993. Like it was like Jaws. You had to show them sparingly. They didn't have the tech. But now it's like, we have the tech. We're going to show them constantly. There are going to be constant dinosaurs at all times. And it kind of ruins like the magic, the wonder. It's like too much of a good thing, too much, candy and cake. It's not as sweet anymore. I will say you get the original trio back for this film. And while I like that they're there, they're mixed in with, Jurassic World's Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and those characters who I could really care less about. I feel like they did such a bad job setting these characters up. Like, I don't know who Owen Grady is. Other than a guy who works on his bike, I don't know this character. And they're split up for most of the movie. Like there's like 4 or 5 different storylines going on, and then finally when they come together at the end, it's like that's what I want. They always keep doing this at the end of these Jurassic movies. That is the movie I want, and instead it's over. And there overall though, I will say there's some good action sequences, some that go on for a bit, but like they're pretty elaborate. There's some cool cinematography in there. I will say a lackluster story though, and you got to fund Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum is doing his Jeff Goldblum thing, and it works still. But I saw the reviews going into it. It is not as bad as the reviews say. The reviews make it sound like this is complete like garbage, and it is not. It's not great, but it's not as bad as the reviews are saying. My last thing I will say is Chris Pratt and this hand gesture he does in these movies. Every time any dinosaur comes up to him, crazy, ready to, eat his head, it's like, hey, it's okay. It's okay. He just puts his hand out there and it's like, oh, then they're fine. It's like, okay, you trained raptors. You didn't train every dinosaur out there. It's like somehow you can control dinosaurs with this one hand out, and it's just.
Do you know that? Were you there when he was training all the dinosaurs?
That's true. That's
Dave?
true. I just find it hard to believe that a T-Rex that thinks of you as an M&M is like, oh, you put your hand out. It's like, all right, I'll back off. You got me. I won't attack you. I won't bite the hand off. But
he's got that energy, man.
I guess so. But that is Jurassic World Dominion. I don't think either of you guys are probably going to be rushing out to see it. But,
No. I heard it stunk. I'm not even taking a chance.
I just said it's not as bad as they said, Kyle.
Yep.
Spend your $17.50 and go see it for me, please.
No, to
Go see Top
watch
Gun.
this.
No.
Watch this.
I did that.
Yeah.
I did that at one point at the end of the movie. It's like this is supposed to be like sad thing, and there's people next to me that laughed. I was like, there's supposed to be some heart, and I'm just put my hand out. All right, enough about Jurassic World. You did see another movie, Kyle. What did you see?
I saw The Northman. Which was interesting. I kind of went in with high expectations because I was excited to see it. A lot of ritualistic stuff in there that I wasn't anticipating, and I guess they threw it in there because that's what they did back then. But it kind of took me out of it rather than bring me into this world a little bit more, which is whatever. I mean, maybe that's just a me thing, but this is just a guy trying to get revenge for his father, and come to find out life isn't the way he thought it was. Dun dun. And yeah, and then he mixes with Taylor Joy there at the end. So
Queen's Gambit.
It's not the best story, but there are interesting parts to it. I think it's really well shot. I like a lot of the fighting scenes. Interesting choices by some actors. I still think it's worth watching. But it's just okay. I didn't love it, but there's some good parts.
And where's that available right now?
Peacock, I believe.
Peacock. All right.
Yeah. Maybe you have to pay for it. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I think the Jurassic World films are on Peacock. I think it's an NBC Universal. We're shelling for Peacock tonight. John, do you have something on Peacock?
No.
Okay.
I have another game.
Okay.
I'm part of a ambassador program for a company that lets me get early access to some games. And so I got early access to a game called PlateUp, all one word. And it is a 1 to 4 player game, cooperative, where you try and serve people food. And so you might be in the kitchen making salads. People might order just lettuce, tomato, onion, whatever, different combos. And you gotta grab the food, chop it up, plate it, deliver it to the table. If you have a buddy, maybe they deliver and bring you back dirty plates and you cook and wash. And the more people you serve, the more money you get, and you can buy upgrades. And maybe you buy a sink that can hold more than 1 plate at a time. It'll wash 4 plates at once instead of washing 1 at once. Or maybe you upgrade your counter to let you chop food faster or whatever. And it's nothing, excuse me, it's nothing that is groundbreaking, but it's done really well and it flows really well. And I played with one of my streaming buddies, and I had a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun coordinating and figuring out how to rearrange your setup, because every single tile can be moved. So if your sink is in the way, in between days, you can pick up your sink and move it across the room, and maybe that gives your buddy access to help you. Maybe they could throw stuff directly in the sink instead of having to put it on the counter and you put it in the sink. So it was a lot of fun, and it's not available yet for people. In fact, it's still early access. The game doesn't have music yet, so it's very early on in its life. But I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it can polish itself up and how good it gets.
That's cool. Can you purchase like a rat to put under your chef's hat and control you as a chef, or could that be something you add in? No.
Yeah, maybe that's DLC for later.
The Ratatouille approach.
Ratatouille.
Okay. Yeah.
The Ratatouille version. That's in the more fun stuff version.
Oh, I gotta pay extra for that one. Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
What was nice is I bought it, but I was able to play with my buddy through Steam without they didn't have to buy a copy or nothing. It's just it's multiplayer, and as long as you are friends with them on Steam and you're happy to share the controls with them, they can just connect the controller, use a mouse and keyboard, whatever they want. They get piped to feed, and they can see it, and you can get their inputs and everything. It was great. It was nice and easy. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll play one day.
All right, cool. Well, next week, I'm inviting all of our listeners for one more podcast in June. It's FX's The Old Man. We're going to be talking about this latest FX drama, The Old Man. It's coming. And after that, July is going to be busy. I'm going to read off some of the things coming in July just to get you ready, because a lot is coming. We got the second half of Stranger Things Season 4. Westworld and Better Call Saul return. Big Brother, Nope, The Boys season finale. It feels like it just started, but it's going to be ending in July. Emmy nominations. And then, here's a little do or redundancy tease. We may have another TV draft game, and I'll leave it at that. That's just a tease. It's in the early stages. We're figuring it out still, but it may happen in July if you're lucky. Let's see here. You can find those episodes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the blog, doordoncy.com. And of course, we're live on Twitch, twitch.tv/doordoncy. Normally, Monday nights, that's what tonight is, Monday nights at 8 p.m. This Old Man show, that's going to be Wednesday. And then we'll figure it out from there. But to make sure you know our schedule, follow us on social media, Twitter and Instagram at doordoncy, because summer can get a little interesting with our schedule. I got to thank both you guys for joining me tonight. Just, doing this one show, but doing it so well. Kyle, just for all the hot takes. John for directing the show. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you. All right. Until next time, whenever that may be, I'm David Allen.
I'm John Brewer.
And I'm Cobb Bridger.
And that's all we got for Doordoncy. Goodbye, everybody.